Ladies, you got to stop criminalizing sex, withholding sex from your man and punishing him for something that he might have done wrong. And this is why I brought up monogamy. I don't think people understand how hard monogamy is. If you're with a man, it is your job to give him sex if he asks you for sex. If you're sick or you're on your whatever the case may be, that's fine.
All right, we are on the second episode of Charlie's Corner. I got my dogs Trevin, I got my dog Josh with me today, and today want to have a conversation. The topic of the day is why do they cheat? We're going to talk about men and women today. Realize I might split the room a little bit. This is a little bit different from my comfy couch, which I do want to give a shout out to Nikki for letting me use a platform on my comfy couch platform. I also want to thank Thaddeus for letting me use the spot really quick. Got to get Thaddeus on the show soon. But what this is pretty much is a conversation amongst men. This is for the men, you know what I'm saying? It's a guy space. I feel like men really don't talk about this type of topic too much. You know, you don't hear men out in the open talking about cheating and everything like that. So just want to get into it today. So before we do that though, Trevin, a little bit, man, let's talk about where we met, man. High school, man. Was it senior year?
Nah, I think we knew. Nah, Chuck, it was ninth grade year, man. It was ninth grade. We knew each other from ninth grade year, bro.
Golly, boy, showing my age.
Yeah, I forgot.
Already.
Yeah, I forgot what class we were in, but that's when we met each other. It was ninth grade year, bro. It was all ninth grade year, definitely. And then we were just friends from that point on. And then after that, we hung out. After high school, we hung out. I remember we went to the Broward Mall together. We hung out and stuff like that too, on the outside of school after we graduated and stuff like that. So we hung out too. And then after that, we just kind of like branched off. But it was definitely ninth grade year.
Yeah, man. Life happens, man. What's important is that we still cool, bro. We still bros. So
yeah, definitely. We keep in contact, definitely.
Yes,
Just like we it's just like we continue where we left off every time we get back together and we start talking, bro.
Absolutely. So Josh, man, we've been tight since I want to say 2011, 12. I remember I met you working out there, man.
Yeah.
I remember
working out that hellhole.
Yeah, man. I remember the first time I seen you, bro. I can't remember if you was cracking jokes, if you was roasting somebody. I think you was roasting somebody. And I was cracking up.
Man.
And I remember you started walking up the floor. Oh man, this dude about to roast me now, bro. And we just started like,
Nah, I got love for you. I ain't gonna do you like that, man. It's always love with us. It's always love, man. Yeah, some people deserve it, man. Yeah, but it's been a long time. It's been a long time. I didn't even think it was that long. What's that, about 12 years?
Yeah, about that. It's been a good minute, man.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm glad we all out of that place. We elevated now. It's that first step up, we got to keep going up, man. Yeah, it's only going to get bigger. So I'm glad y'all boys got me on, man. I'm glad y'all, showing love this way. I ain't got nothing better else to do.
All right. But all right, man. So y'all ready to get into it?
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
All right. So first question I'm gonna start off with is, what do you guys think makes a man cheat? Like, what drives a man to cheat?
Ooh, I got
you. You want me to go first? Are you
take over, Trey? I'll go after you. Don't worry. Go ahead. I got that. Go ahead.
Go.
All right. So with cheating.
Sure.
And from a man's perspective, there are many different things that make men cheat. We all know the first reason. The first reason is that we're very visual. So we see a woman we like, we'll love our woman, right? But we'll still go and sleep with another woman because we're visual, but we don't have no type of connection with that woman. That's the first reason. The second reason is how is our lady treating us? what is she doing? What's missing from that aspect that will make a man want to go out and cheat on his woman? So the second reason is maybe the woman is not, treating, the husband or the boyfriend or whatever well. That's one of the reasons. That's another reason why men, will step out and cheat and stuff like that. For example, let's say you worked all day. You go to work. Everybody at work likes you. They applaud you. But then when you go home, your wife, oh, why you she keeps on doing it every day, right? And then after that, you go back to the job. You might see you a little lady or something. You might meet a lady at the store, and you like the way she's treating you. And y'all hit it off, and that's how it starts. So those are just two. There's another one. This is the last one. A lot of men aren't built to be in monogamy. Monogamy is very tough. Now some men can deal with monogamy. Cool. But a lot of men just are not built for monogamy. There's other solutions to it to help with cheating, maybe polygamy or something like that. But a lot of men are just not built to be with one woman. So if a man can understand that it's okay to be with another woman or two, if they're okay with it, then that's another solution. But those are some of the reasons that men cheat.
Yes, sir. Hey, I agree. I agree with a lot of what you said, and I think a lot of times women don't consider the treatment of men. I think some women feel like we just roll out of bed one day and decide, like, oh, I'm about to go ahead and start messing around with all these girls out here, start messing around with all these hoes. That's not always the case. Not saying that there aren't any men that don't do that, but I think a lot of the times that it's kind of like glossed over. Like it's not always the case. Like we just see something and we just want to attack and, see what's going on with these other women out here. There are like so many things that can lead into that. Josh, what you got?
Hey, let me get myself. Can y'all hear me? Good, perfect. So,
Yeah.
I like what Trey was saying about like the different factors that men do to sort of lead them down that line. So I would just leave it like on like mental and physical stimulation, right? So
Yeah.
his third point was the fact that men don't want one woman. I don't think it's that. I think it's men want one woman, but that one woman don't want to fulfill her duties, right? So therefore, like I say, you want to have sex right now, right? Let's say that's what you want. You've been having that long day, and you know that you haven't had it in like three weeks, because they like to put you on that like I'm not in the mood. They're feeling the emotional base. Exactly. They run off logic, they run off of emotion, logos and pathos. You know what I mean? And when they start to say like, oh no, but that's what leads you down that other path, because you feel that sense of unwanted, that being unfulfilled. And we are visual creatures, sexual creatures. And when they tell you that, oh, nah, I'm not in, no, you ain't in the mood for you. So you start feeling unwanted. And then, like he said, at other places, people showing you all the attention, all the love. I had that personally speaking. Ex-girlfriend of mine, she had a feeling of like, oh, I'm gonna ration this out. I'm not right. I'm a starving man. You see me, I'm 120 now. I'm 120 pounds. I need that. Yeah. And then she like, I'm gonna ration it out, but I go out socially to even like random places to my college, and the people gravitating towards me. So I know it ain't me. But when you lacking and you don't feel fulfilled mentally, it's a mental thing too. Because you mentally and physically attracted to her. And so when she lacking here, because they got this thing when they break up with you, they checked out mentally months ago. That's what they like to say. So that's what it is for us. We checking out here because we're not feeling this is not connecting to this. Because you still there and you love her. But physically and mentally, they're not matching because she denying something that is essential to you. And I think sex is very essential to a relationship. So once she starts doing all that, you're going to start looking elsewhere, inadvertently or advertently. And sometimes it's not even on purpose. Sometimes stuff happens because that unfulfillment. And for us, it's not a sense of that we want to neglect that woman and we want to tell her we don't love her. For women, it's a totally different. There's a totally different story why they do it, because they form those emotional bonds. We don't necessarily form those emotional bonds,
Right.
but they do. So that they took, because as we know, women control access to sex, right? Sex and whether children are being born. We control access to relationships and marriage. So I agree with that 100%. But like I said, what you were saying, Trey, and what you were saying, Charlie, was spot on. But I just like to combine that with that mental, because at the end of the day, we need fulfillment. And I think we're emotional creatures too, but it's very dangerous for us to be emotional. So we have to like reel it back. An emotional man is like very dangerous, but I think I agree with everybody.
Yeah, man. An emotional man, like, that's a topic in itself for another time, man. That's the dude you see locked up, but yeah, that's something we can get into.
You can't do it. Yeah, that's gonna be a whole year worth of conversation right there, man.
Yeah,
because you slip that mask just a little bit, and you looking behind, you looking like a monster. When it was just what they call it, crime. They call them crime of passions, and that's why it's very important for us as men to control, and we're always in control. So like the Incredible Hulk, how he always have to be in control. I think that's a great euphemism for men, because once we let that anger out, we start to society, we look like the Hulk, a rampaging monster. When it was just 5 seconds.
Especially us as black men too, man.
Oh,
they already looking at us the second we walk out there.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter which race it is. You said something earlier that I wanted to piggyback on, and I want, if there's any women paying attention, I want you to pay attention to what he said earlier. Ladies, you got to stop criminalizing sex, withholding sex from your man and punishing him for something that he might have done wrong. And this is why I brought up monogamy. I don't think people understand how hard monogamy is. If you're with a man, it is your job to give him sex if he asks you for sex. If you're sick or you're on your whatever the case may be, that's fine. But withholding sex from your man and then making him feel bad about it, that is wrong too. And then when he goes and he finds another woman that wants to give him the box, you get angry and upset with him and make him a criminal. I think in some cases, I don't think we should really be criminalizing cheating if this person has been treated bad or poorly. And of course, yeah, he should leave, but sometimes that's not necessarily the case in, certain situations, whether they're married or something, they got kids or something, it's a different case. And it's the same thing with women. When women cheat, it's for an emotional reason. They cheat on an emotional, from an emotional perspective. But now, with these modern women, a lot of them are masculine and they just cheat like men. It's just about the same.
Hey,
sorry to interrupt y'all, boy, but trust me, they worse than us. You think they like us? They don't cheat like you or me. They 1,000 times worse than you. What you think he's doing? Check. Hey, and I'm gonna tell you, this is ill-advised. Ever check their DM? Check their DM. I'm gonna tell you, it's worse because these dudes sending them $100 just for their toe picture, right? And so,
my girl,
you remember, in the age of social media, they got like 1,000-fold. Where we got like, if we doing one, they got 1,000. And you might, and it'd be the most basic looking one too. And you don't have to be pretty, because of the idea of man hunger for the box, as you put it. Man hunger for that. And so they're gonna do whatever and say whatever to get there. So these threes, physically and mentally, they bird brains, some of them. But they're attracting these people that that out of their league, but it's not because of their attractive, it's because the prospect of sex, which is very important that we go back to. So if you think they like us, they worse than us, man. We babies compared to what they doing out here, man.
Hey, y'all boys are cooking right now, but y'all cooking. Ladies, again, this is not to discourage y'all. We're not women bashing. Again, this is just conversation with men. We're just telling it from our side, from our perspective. Just again, don't take it personal. It's just guys talking.
And they can't take it personal, because they know in the heart of hearts, they know they got like 5 friends that's worse than what I'm talking about right now. And when I got female friends, and they tell you that, I hold them accountable. No. And I go out all the time and I see them in these settings. And when I tell you, they worse than anything we talking about right now. So they can't, like, we talking from logic here. We're not talking from emotion. We're not talking about
definitely.
This is coming from here. And they know in their emotional heart, they know we telling the truth. Yeah. And so you already know, like, you know, it's all love, but sometimes they say that hard love. That's what we got to talk about right now, because you can't sugarcoat this.
It is what it is. You know, there's certain things that ladies are doing that are causing men to want to step out on them. You're not probably taking care of yourself, keeping yourself, you know, fine for your man. Now, does that mean, oh, I got to be so fit and I got to just be muscular like Jade Cocker? No, that's not what I'm talking about. Being sexy for your man, you know, or just try being sexy for you. Stay attractive to him. You know, be attractive to your man. If you're not being attracted to him like from the beginning, he's probably going to start looking at somebody else. If you want him to, this is, like I said, this is why monogamy is so hard, because women, let me tell you what women do. They want us to be with them and only them. But they are the only ones that want to be able to break the rules. They want to give sex when they want to give sex. They want to do things when they want to do things, but then they tell you what you can't do in a relationship. And that's not how it works. If you got to understand, ladies, if you're going to be with this man, especially if y'all married, and you don't want him touching nobody else, which that probably ain't going to happen unless you're doing what you're supposed to do. You got to understand, he's the only person that you want him to touch. So you got to keep that in mind too. So abusing him, criminalizing sex, and getting upset with him because he wants to have sex, you know, you can't get mad at him about that. You know, Chuck, you know about Mama Bear. Mama Bear is in, you know, she's where she's at. When I go over there, I'm getting boxed, and ain't no complaints about it. None.
My dog Tracy.
None.
He getting the cheeks.
Yeah. Men want cheeks, and that's nothing. Men are naturally polygamous, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. Not all of them. So there's a lot of men are polygamous because they love women. They like the way women look. They like the way they're beautiful and stuff like that. I'm not saying that that's for every man. If you have a solid woman, you stick with that solid woman. But from a perspective of that, women have to understand also, and I will give you this advice, ladies. Always ask a man when you first start talking to him, is he polygamous? That's gonna help you. Ask the man, is he polygamous? Ask him if he has more than one woman, or is he talking to multiple women? That right there will give you an idea. And the same thing with fellas, because women, for some reason, they like practicing that shit too. Excuse my language. They like practicing that too. Ask, hey, do you have multiple men that you're talking to? And this will solve a lot of the problems with the cheating too. But just from that point, I'm going a little bit too far with it, but I digress. Okay, I'm out your way.
Nah, Trey, you're not going far enough. Actually, you want to be honest, you're not going far. You think you're going far. I keep telling you, man, when you saying that, like, you got to ask them, though. They don't have to ask us. We have to ask them. We the ones got to ask them. Because at the end of the day, like I told you, the biggest mistake you can ever do is check that phone without trying to, like, if you're looking for, trying to call somebody, that's why I just hand them their phone. Because at the end of the day, you want to ask them if they're polygamous, because they don't look at it as polygamy. They look at it as friends. These guys are friends. They're giving them favors. So you got 1,000 dudes doing crazy favors. I'm sitting at a cousin's house. She got a pizza guy. He just bring food. That's his only role. And so they got people set up for different roles. Where we want physical things, some of them guys, they don't even touch, but they have them on like yo-yo screens. So where we think we have answer or something, now they the ones you gotta ask. How many people you got on your line? They gonna say no, we ain't got nothing. Unless you run into one of those unicorns, because a lot of people think they these snowflakes, but there's no special snowflakes in here. We're more alike than we are different. Yeah, and that's why people fail to realize. And so, for like you were saying, polygamy, but I don't think everybody are like hip to that term. Like, we're hearing it more like poly relationships now, but like the idea of like desiring more than one person, we all have it. But the thing is, us as men, most times we choose not to pursue it because of societal standards that are put here. So we'll see it and we'll think like, oh, okay, nah, she cool. And then you'll sit down and tell your girl about it. But she ain't tell you, about what she done just seen. You know what I mean? So that exchange ain't equal. So what I mean is I've had that when I was in a relationship to where I was like, damn, this crazy girl was trying to talk to me. Oh, really? For real? But they thinking in the back of mind, I just had 100 DMs just by Friday. You know what I'm saying? So like what we go crazy about, trust me. And these ladies know that we telling the God honest truth. It's raining outside where I'm at, but I ain't hear no lightning, so I know I'm telling the truth.
I want to move on a little bit, just to piggyback off of what both of you guys are saying when it comes to cheating, right? When we talk about men cheating, it's always how awful we are, right? How we're dogs. It's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And again, ladies, I'm not saying that there aren't men that are not on that shit. There are men that are just dogs. Like you can have a good woman, you can have a family. It's a lot of niggas that would jeopardize their family or their good women or their marriages just to bust somebody cheeks. It happens. But we're not really focusing on those kind of guys. So, and again, to piggyback off of what you guys were saying, I want to talk about women, like when they're cheating. There seems to be a difference when men and women cheat, right? Like I was saying, we're the dogs, but when women cheat, one, you guys did touch on it, it is more of an emotional thing for women because sex for men and women is so different. I feel like it's different in the sense where if a man to cheat, he can have a wife. A man to cheat, I'll take a bullet for my wife. My family comes first. I'm bringing home the money. I'm putting the bacon on the table, paying the mortgage. She got a car. Her gas tank is full. But then it's just some little raggedy bitch on the side. I don't care about her. Like, it ain't, it's just some cheeks. But with women, it seems to be more of an emotional thing. And not to say that there are some women that are, just enjoy sex and just want to get it in. But I feel like the majority, it has to be like an emotional thing for women. So women, I feel like, don't really set aside that emotional thing from that, just that physical thing. So and I think that's where men see like there's such a difference. It's like, damn, like I just was messing with this girl off here on the side. Like you really love this guy. Like you really like this guy. Like, I'll get the back rub when I come home from work no more. Like you probably giving this nigga the back rub. You know what I'm saying? I'll get the head massages. You could get this nigga a full course meal. You come home cooking me boiled hot dogs. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's an emotional thing for women, more so than it is for men. And also one more thing before I get you guys into it. Women, when they cheat, there seems to be excuses behind it. He was working too much, or he wasn't working enough, or I came home from work and he ain't want to talk about this book that I was reading, or I was bored. But if we say that shit as men, it's going to be like, nah, that's BS. Y'all just dogs. You see what I'm saying? We don't really have those excuses. We're just automatically the bad guy, where women is like, hey, there's always an excuse to why she did it. And I feel like women don't hold other women accountable and say, hey, that's fucked up. You shouldn't have did that. As opposed to like we're men, if we see our dog doing something, we might say, yo, like, hey, you might chill. You're doing too much. Either we gonna say that, or we might just like stay out of it. But you see, like a lot of ladies, like when they cheat and they do stuff like that, they kind of clapping it up. Yeah, girl, live your best life, sexual liberation, and all this. And I think that is absolutely bonkers. Like, what do you guys think?
Well, Chuck, here's what you got: the two C's, and this is how society always labels men. When a man leaves a situation with a woman, they call him a coward. A woman does the same exact thing, they call her courageous. So it's the two C's.
That's why, real quick, I'm going to cut you off. That's why 20% of divorces are initiated by men. 80%, 75 to 80% are initiated by women.
By women, correct.
Yeah, correct. And it's so high because women, they're selfish. They're not seeing what they're doing wrong. And what I hate about society is the way they they've taken something, and I'm just going to keep it 1,000 with you guys. Let me just keep it real. This society has taken something that has been natural to men since the beginning of time, and then they've, especially the West, and they've turned it into something that makes them look bad, or it denounces them, and society cancels them, or it throws them under the bus. But when it's a woman, it's a different story. And I give you an example. I seen this on divorce court, right? You got a man and a woman. The man, long story short, the man finds out that the child is not his. Immediately, the girl collapses and she starts crying. Everybody surrounds the woman. Mind you, she cheated. He found out the child's not his. He's over there crying by himself. And the woman is on the other side. Everybody's catering to her. Men, we're just told to deal with it. We have to let's just deal with it. Yo, you deal with it. You did what you did wrong. You deal with it. Women, they get that type of support. Oh, okay, let's go and help her. She cheated with another man. They gave her support and comfort, and they left that man over there crying by himself. So in society, there's
I saw that he didn't even get so much as a pat on the back, man.
Right. And that's the problem. And that's the problem is, when women are not told that they're wrong. When women do wrong and we tell them they're wrong, what they expect is us to give them a lollipop. We're not giving out lollipops anymore. Lollipops are no longer for sale. We're here to tell you the truth. The same things that you do wrong, you need to be accountable for it. If you cheated, and a lot of women know that they're cheating. A lot of you know you're cheating. You know you got that side dude that you're talking to, and you got this good man at the house looking out for you, taking care of you, loves you, and cherishes you, and you got a side dude, and you being selfish. But let a man do that. You ready to leave him and throw him under the bus. This has to be a two-way street here. It can't just be one way anymore.
I agree.
See, I agree with that. And it's a perfect phrase to go with what you just said. I think it was Chris Rock that said it. He said, only women are children are loved unconditionally. Men are only loved under the condition that they can provide. See, that's a great phrase that ties in all that what y'all said, right? But you got to look at it and then you realize a lot of these, I'm glad you watch a divorce court, because paternity court is the same thing. That's the same thing that go on in that show. You know what I mean? The woman cries and breaks down. The judge forget that this guy fought for 5 years to get a baby that wasn't his. And then the whole time she knew that it was, and she told the judge at the beginning, it's 1,000% possibility there's nobody else. And then she tell it at the end right before, oh, I was young. And then everybody jumped to oh, okay. See, it's more socially acceptable for women, not even just to cheat, but to make mistakes. Because at the end of the day, society is hardwired.
I was going to ask, why do you think that is? Why do you think that is more acceptable for women to?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because there's a lot of movements that went on right after the civil rights, right? Then we had the women. I believe it was the women's liberation movement right around the 70s. Where they went against their so-called men, but it wasn't a black people issue. We piggybacked on. I took a sociology class. We piggybacked on the white woman's issue with the white man. And then they realized even in that women's right issues, it wasn't equal between the black woman or the white woman. So it was a big difference in between them, but they were still, what they call it, it's a phrase they call it the sisterhood. The sisterhood, even though they didn't agree with each other, the sisterhood was so strong that they still stayed on that same movement, even though they knew that this wasn't an all issue. Because I don't know if you see these women lately, you talk about masculinity, oh Lord, they're worse than us. And then society say, oh, that's a strong, independent woman. They use other words besides masculine. Oh, you right. The sisterhood is what they call it. Yeah, they're gonna have a bunch of women that don't necessarily agree. They're gonna disagree amongst each other, but to everybody else, they're gonna stick together. And so that's why they won't hold any other woman accountable. Because if they hold women accountable, it goes against the sisterhood. And then they know that they'll be bashed by other women for doing so. So they don't want to get bashed by their own tribe. So what they do is they know she wrong. They know for a fact that she wrong. But guess what? They're not going to tell you or me that. In private, they might say, you know, this and this, but they know women don't like to be. A lot of women don't like to be corrected.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That could go on both sides, but socially, every fuck up that my bad, everything that they got going on, it can be because you're always right according to you. So they create these scenarios, these emotional things that have tears, lying their ass off, or sometimes stretching the truth because the best lie is found in the truth. So they create a little truth on there, and then they cry, and then we, as society, they melt when they see cry. Anything feminine, they cry. Now they don't respect us as a masculine man because of the difference between a feminine man and a masculine man.
Mm-hmm.
If you was a feminine man and you were doing certain things, and we know what we mean by feminine, or you know you're not a hetero man, or you doing if you flying for any other flag. If you was to create that same scenario in which you're an emotional man, it's accepted different by society. By being a heterosexual masculine black man, it creates a whole different thing. And race does play a factor in a lot of this stuff.
You know what?
And it may not. Go ahead, take over.
Society does not fear the feminine man. The masculine man, especially the masculine black man, is who society fears. That's why there is such a war against us right now to tear us down. You watch something like the BET Awards, and you see all the women out there in hats and pantsuits, and there's niggas on the stage and skirts twerking and all that stuff. That is an attack. And I'm sorry to be like drifting off a little bit, but I just got to piggyback off of what.
Nah, you're not drifting. You right
You're
along,
you're not drifting at all. So let me say this.
Yeah,
ladies, I want to share this with you. Imagine what black men go through. Let's just do black men for right now. We have to go to work, right? We go to work. We have to take care of our families. Then when we outside, when we get off from work, we have to put our life on the line. Being black, we have to worry about the police, even when we ain't did nothing. And then on top of that, we got feminism that we're dealing with. So now those are three things we're dealing with. We're dealing with work, we're dealing with the police, and we're dealing with feminism. So now we got to handle feminism. We got to handle our kids. And then on top of that, when we come home, we got to deal with a lot of y'all's mouths. So imagine all that a man is going through at one time, every single day. What do you think is going to happen if that continues, especially if his woman is not there to build him up and lift him up? He's going to go and look for another woman that's going to help build him and uplift him. You know, let's go back to that Keke Palmer situation. Since we're talking about accountability.
Yeah.
Do you guys know that there were married women that were agreeing with what Keke Palmer did? How are you married and you agree with a woman that's in a relationship? She's in a relationship, right? And you're agreeing with her going dressed out there with a child the way she dressed. And they get upset with us when we talk about this stuff. We say, hey, look, women get really upset with us when we tell them that they're wrong. Hey, look, what you just did just now wasn't right. You know, don't tell me that, because here's the thing that you ladies do, and I want you to pay attention if there's ladies here. You guys love pointing the finger at men and telling men what they're doing wrong. But when it's time for us to start telling y'all what y'all doing wrong, that's when you guys start getting upset and defensive and stuff like that. And I think it's all women. It might be in their DNA. But we are just here. We're not here like we're not here to bash y'all. We're here to tell y'all that a lot of stuff that you guys are doing is wrong. Communication. A lot of you women don't communicate. You know, communication is probably another reason why a man don't cheat. You just do stuff without telling him and stuff like that. A man don't want no woman that don't communicate with him. Any man that feels that way, you got to be some kind of crazy to not have your woman communicating with you. That's another reason why a man will probably go out, because you don't communicate. Communicate with your man. Learn to be accountable. Let me tell you something, ladies. Apologizing and saying I'm sorry and saying I'm wrong is the most heartwarming thing for a man, because it shows a man exactly. It shows a man that you care.
See, that boy Kevin Samuels, you know, shout out to Kevin Samuels. He said accountability is a woman's kryptonite. Like, you gotta remember though, you know, ain't nobody, like I told you, that goes back. This all ties in together in that loop. Mm-hmm. No one wants to be accountable. So when they see that Keke Palmer situation going on, Guess what everybody did? They immediately doubled down by what they really think. And then they went on the defense like, she brave, she's strong, she's a mother, she's showing she still got it. So they came up with a whole scenario, you know what I mean? But then we find out that Usher has a habit of doing this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like not holding him on it because he's accountable too for that crap. Because to be honest with you, I guess I bet you're an entertainer. But at the end of the day, some men like the idea that I could do this to somebody else's woman. And then the woman that falls for that, that's because they like that attention. They're attention seekers. And when you got an attention seeker like her, that's her thing. Attention. Because now, right after that, she piggybacked off of that, doing nude photos or said mostly nude. And she had garnered a lot of support from all over the world. But guess who support her? Femininity. Not just women. Femininity, the whole thing. And so Ariel, she's a strong woman. Now she creating like liberation speeches about being strong. And you know what I mean? So like this accountability thing, man, all this thing is gonna it's poison to them. They can't digest it. So and society not gonna give it. And then the few guys that do, and this is why a lot of people that make like podcasts or speak on this are deemed like the enemy. And you see it like a lot of these people going against them. And when you check those comments, it's on fire. You feel like you know what the hell when you read them comments. It's because ain't nobody want to be accountable, but everybody got to be, and that's the only way we can grow if we hold that accountable first and then we move it outward. And I think we as men do that a lot more. We have to.
Yes, we have to, because we know if we don't hold ourselves accountable, if we're not self-aware of things that are going on around us, we're going to fail. You know, we're not going to get by in life. But I want to say something real quick. And I'm not trying to make jokes and make light of this, but I think we all know about Usher, what he got going on by now. You know, we all know that boy Usher shooting out hot bullets. Like, that boy Usher is burning them ladies up. So you know what?
I'll be mad too. I'll be mad too.
You want to grind and dance on Usher?
Let it burn. He got a song called "Let It Burn."
Crazy. Well, he burning them pretty good. But you know what? I just want to say one last thing, and then I'll give it back to you, Chuck. You know what these women were saying also about the whole Keke Palmer situation? They were saying she was single. Could you guys imagine if men when they hang out with another woman they like, and then we said, "I'm not with you, I'm single"? Could you imagine if we said that? If we went out and we went and hung out with our friends and we was with some girls and we was dancing on some girls and everybody like, I thought you was a relationship, and all the men said, "Nah, he's single, he ain't with her," but y'all was just together. That don't make no sense. That's what they did with Keke Palmer. They made an excuse for her, like he was talking earlier. Women will always make excuses. Hey, God forbid if men do it.
Hey, they also see how much more money she makes than him. Like, because $2 million to his one, it's okay for her to be grinding up on Usher. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell y'all where that single thing comes from, because it was a thing. Even Kevin Samuels said this. God rest his soul. You single until you marry, right? And so what they did was they skewed that to where, you know, I could take anything and skew it to where it benefits me. Everybody disagreed with it when it didn't benefit them. But everybody started using that logic now that, oh, she's not married to him. They just had a baby and they just dating or talking. She not married, so she's single. So that's where that idea come from. And that's what they start using. It started back. But when it was in our favor, they didn't ascribe to that. But like it's a mindset that's been out there for a while, because technically speaking, I guess they can actually say that, because technically you don't have anything intertwining you. But like realistically speaking, see what's on paper and what's in reality are two different things. You know what I mean? So now you gotta remember, like any statistics they have is going to benefit them when they wanted to, and then everybody's going to garner behind it. But when that was first out there, no woman agreed with that, none. But now that but you got to remember, they doing this with black women, right? You don't see these other people like Adele or somebody going to do weird stuff like this. You see these black women doing this nonsense. Look at
True.
Adele and look at Keke Palmer. You see Regal, and then you see Trashy. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
they're women singers, and they in the spotlight. And Keke Palmer should know better. She's been out way longer. She should
That's
know better.
true.
No excuse.
Definitely.
Yep. Done. So I wanted to touch on something else. So you guys both kind of brushed up on this already, but I want to dive a little bit deeper for a minute. Is cheating more of an emotional thing? Like, is there like a deep meaning behind it? Can it be like childhood traumas? And this is for both men and women, not just the women. Can it be childhood traumas, or can it be certain situations, you know, the environment in which you grew up around that?
See, I got you, Charlie, on this one. I got you. You ain't even got to create no more pictures. I got you on this one.
All right.
Well, you know, the psychologists call it nature versus nurture, because you could have grown up and seeing this as a habit. You could have seen your dad have multiple women around, and then your mom was there. That could be a factor. So there are extreme outliers, right? But when you look at it as emotional, yes, it can be emotional for men as well, because I guess we all emotional creatures, right? But a man living in his emotions is a very dangerous man. You know what I mean? And then, like we said before, that's a proven fact. You know what I mean? Emotional men are very dangerous. And so when you look at it like that, like, is it an emotional thing? Yes, it can be, but we keep saying it more so for the women's emotional thing, because they the one have access to that. They have a better chance of having sex before you or me. They can walk outside the street with cross-eyed, no teeth, no eyeballs, just looking whatever, and somebody gonna do something. No matter what it is, somebody gonna do something just to get their rocks off, because that's the kind of mentality some guys have. Not all of us who understand how to control ourselves and do the thing, because it is a control thing. We have to hold ourselves accountable to control ourselves. So we have to do that first. But they don't realize that
men like that. But men like that need to be checked. Men like that are just telling women whatever. They're not honest with these women.
Yeah, but you gotta look at it like this though. That's like a lot of people, like, in order to get what they want, they don't care about the underlying thing that is causing damage to, right? So I have a friend group, and maybe next time, hopefully, when you do this again, I'll just bring my friend in, and he's one of those guys. He don't ever sugarcoat it. Like, you know, he'll go talk to him. They say no, he walking away. They ask him why, because they like that ideal of the chase. Somebody inflating their ego, because this is what a society we're in right now. We don't live in the truth. We just live in whether it's first or whether it could be a lie, but long as it's appealing lie. The book 1984 talks about, like, you know, like the illusion of inclusion. People have that idea. People have that idea of like, oh, we just want to feel good. They got that feel good mentality. Sooner or later, we're gonna be looking like those people on Wally. Trust me. You're floating around, you know, slumping out of the thing, not moving anywhere, because you got to look at it like this, because they tell them anything they want to hear. But guess what? It's just like you know, we used to retail. Yep. People come into the store, they already want to buy something, but they want to hold us accountable for making them do it. That's all sales is. Sales is the idea of, I want to go do something, but he told me to do it. But you're already here. I didn't bring you drive 30 miles to my store to come here and look at a shirt. You wanted to do this. And you didn't drive 30 miles and leave here empty-handed. You want to be convinced that you did the right thing. And so a lot of people are telling them, hey, you look good. Don't worry. You can wear that see-through dress. Nobody cares. But guess what? The internet is forever. And so they're going to grow up with all that going on. But, like, nobody's going to hold them accountable now. And then later on in life, it's going to bite them in the eyes. What's that? It's a porn star. What's her name? Mia Khalifa, right? Yeah. She's going on this big campaign. She's going on this big campaign. I was forced to do this. I didn't know it. Stop it. Come on now. She's a great example of what you're talking about. Because guess what? She wants society to see her a certain kind of way now. But come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, we're never gonna get away with that. I can say this. This is what I discovered about men and cheating. Is it wrong? Yeah, of course. I think, once again, back to what we were saying, there's something that is naturally in us since the beginning of the dawn of time.
Yes.
Men have always had an eye for more than one woman. And like I said, it is all about the control. It is all about the control.
It's in the history books. Yep.
Yeah, it's in the history books. You know me, Chuck. I've been over to the motherland more than once.
Yeah.
So when I went over there, you have men over there that practice polygamy, and they have 2 women. But the West has kind of creeped over there and have stolen that and tried to put monogamy into something that for Black people has always been something that's poly, and women have always, and back then were always okay with. I know my great uncle had 2 women. Yeah, my uncle had 2 women. He had 15 kids. Wasn't criminalized or nothing like that. But what they have done is they've taken something that has been given us that was natural, and they have criminalized it. So fellas, I want you to know this, and I want you to pay attention. It is okay. Do things the right way. It is okay to talk to a woman, more than one woman if you so choose, but do it the right way. That is my excuse. I don't know. I could be wrong, but there are facts behind this. In Kenya, polygamy is legal. In Nigeria, polygamy is legal. In Ghana, polygamy is legal. In India, polygamy is legal. So there's many places in the world where men, this thing that we call cheating, it can be expressed so you're not cheating. So I think the cheating aspect of it is we have men who don't understand that this nature that they have, you can actually use it so it's not called cheating. You just have to be honest about it. So I want you guys to know that this whole cheating thing, do it the right way. So that's just my excuse for men. As far as the women, when it comes to what they're going on, women, like I said, they're just emotional creatures. And some women, they just want to be men and they have a masculine behavior. I think that's why they cheat. There's a masculine behavior behind that. And another thing, it could be something else. They could have been raped. It could have been anything. But it's more of an emotional thing for women. You know, they cheat for some of the simplest stuff. Oh, he didn't want to have dinner with me. Or he didn't do this, women cheat for the smallest things. You know what I'm saying? It's so simple. So do I think it's deep? I think it is deep for men and women. But I think by design, you look at a man, if a man sleeps with a whole bunch of women, they don't call a man a hoe. But if a woman sleeps with a man, they'll call her a hoe.
So it's a double standard. It's one of those unfortunate double standards, man. That's one of those things that we are never going to get. And there are double standards that work in the way of women, you know, that it just doesn't.
I agree that it's a double standard. But when you look at double standard, like some of them have validity to it, though. We have trillion, like a lot of sperm. You think they made for one person? Like literally. But it's not. It wouldn't be considered cheating if you're being honest up front. That this is the lifestyle that you choose. So that term cheating would be totally obliterated. Because like if you honest up front, see that's the problem.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cut you off, but real quick. So all right, so Josh, what you're saying is if you tell a woman up front that you mess with multiple women and then she still get mad and she messes with you anyway, and then she get mad when she see that you messing with multiple women, is that on her? Is that what you're saying?
It's completely on her because guess what? You were accountable at first. You were accountable. You were accountable at first. You took accountability. You said this could be a problem in the future. So what you did, you laid the groundwork. You say, hey, look, you know, I love you, but I have interest in other women. Do you mind? I'm telling you what type of person I am. I'll do these different things, but I do have women on the side. Okay, you know, I mean, if she say no, that's okay. And you do it after she say no and you got into the relationship, now you're accountable as well. You know what I mean? But if she say, okay, no problem, and then she finds a problem with it later, now that's completely on her, 1,000%. You put your karma in the air. But the thing is, we're not honest no more. A lot of people are not asking the right questions. We get in relationships without asking the right questions. They get in for physical attraction, financial attraction, or comfort. You know what I mean? They're not really getting into it, being honest. See, if we were to be honest with each other off rip, 98% of this stuff wouldn't be going down.
Exactly.
Right. And it's not to bash nobody. I'm not trying to force
No.
polygamy on nobody.
No.
But monogamy is pretty goddamn bad. Excuse my language. It's been pretty bad for a lot of people. It's not working, and it's damn sure not working for black. It works for a lot of black people. Not all black people are okay with it. So I think it's something that male and female should consider. That will probably tone down the cheating a lot.
But you got to remember, like, not even to just hold y'all up, because I know y'all ready to get through. But you got to remember the monogamy came with Christianity, right? Christianity came and diffused a lot of those animistic practice, all those ancient practice. When you look at ancient societies in the world, there were multiple women, whether it be Greek, Rome, whether you go into Africa, whether you go to Carthaginians, anybody, you go anywhere, there was multiple. There was a head guy, multiple wives, children, and society raised the children, not just a man or the woman. It was a village raising that child, but he had multiple wives. The chief had multiple wives. But like the thing is, when religion came in, and I know a lot of people like to shy away from that, but that's where a lot of this go to, and a lot of people, religion is, it has its pluses and minuses. But when it comes to like monogamy, Christianity is the main pusher of that. Because they one wife, one man.
Yes, man. Hey, both of you guys are absolutely cooking right now, man. You guys y'all serving it hot to it, man. I appreciate that, man. So one final thing that I want to ask both of you guys is, what are your stances on cheating? Like, is it ever okay? Is it ever okay? Is there ever a situation to where it's warranted? Like, where do you guys stand on it? Is that shit good? Is it bad? Is it ever acceptable? Like, how do you guys feel?
Trey, you got that fire in your eye. Take over first. I'm gonna let you take this. So you got that fire in your eye. Go ahead, man.
I think if we understand men, if we understand the nature of men, women and men understand our nature. I feel like it could never be cheating. Is cheating wrong if you're in a committed relationship with someone? Yeah, it is. Let's just keep it 1,000. If you're committed to somebody and you said you want to be with them, then and you walk out on them, whether you're male or female, you step out on them, regardless of the reason, it's wrong. You can just, if you don't want to be with that person, you just leave them. Yes, I agree. That cheating is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I would say this to you guys: if you're single out there, be very careful. Be very careful when it comes to monogamy. Learn about monogamy and make sure when you're doing monogamy, it's with a solid woman. A solid woman that you know is not going to leave you, is going to stay there and have your back. And understand that you have an option as a man. You can talk or have two queens if you so choose, to maybe probably satisfy that desire you might have for another woman. And you want to make sure when you're doing that, to prevent this cheating, you want to make sure she's hot. You want to make sure not only does she have a good head on her shoulder, you want to make sure she's hot and she's attractive. You know what I'm saying? And, she's able to satisfy. These are the things that we got to stop telling men to stop looking for a woman only because they got a good head on their shoulder. You have to be physically attracted to this woman, whether she's fat, tall, skinny, short. However she is attracted to you, as long as she's able to arouse you mentally, physically, spiritually, and all those aspects, it can't just be one aspect. It has to be in multiple aspects. So that would probably prevent it too, if you want to do monogamy, and as well as with polygamy. Make sure you have a connection with those women to prevent it. But cheating and stepping out on your partner is wrong.
All right. Heard it from Jay. We heard it from Trey. Yeah. Josh, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw my little 2 cents, man. I'm gonna add some change to this one. Well, I agree, but you gotta remember what I told y'all. First and foremost, it's completely wrong, because first and foremost, cheating will require everybody being not honest. If you're being dishonest or disingenuous with anybody, it's completely wrong. That's a lie, and it's a relationship founded on non-truths, on lies, and that'll never work, man or female. If you're going into anything and saying like, "Hey, this is we set guide rules. I want you to be with me, only me. And I didn't say anything. I like women on the side. I got women on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes these guys don't only have women on the side, but we not, I know what I'm talking about. We're in 2023. It ain't just women on the side, but we gonna go back. But we got somebody. That's why I'm gonna correct it and say they got somebody on the side. Now, what I will tell you is, if you completely honest, and I say, hey, like I told you, honesty is the key, because it's wrong, because I feel like it's a broken contract. And for me, I live by my word. Anytime I give a word, I try my darndest to do it. And if I break it, I'm going to hold myself accountable. And cheating is going to be a lot of like more lies correcting this thing, because then now we're going to be lying so much that we don't know what's correcting it. And what you're saying about polygamy, what you were saying earlier, you being honest with her up front, telling her that, hey, I have these interests. Yes or no is on her. If she fall on the sword and say no, goodbye, somebody take me. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? You setting up these guidelines. And so I think that if any of us are setting up guidelines and we breaking them, male or female, we're wrong. But remember, we're not all holding ourselves accountable. And so I make sure I hold my female friends accountable. And I tell them, like, completely honest, without any filter. They hate me for it for about a week. They call me later and be like, "You right," but they continue to. And I'm not going to say that every woman like this, but they're going to continue to do whatever the hell they want to do, because guess what? It went right across their head. They didn't hold that in here. They went right over. They was mad because they didn't like the way you were saying it. Your tone. It's your tone. You're so rude to me. But
You're always
accountability is crazy, man. And I'm telling you, Charlie, brother, this whole thing goes back to accountability. Yes. If you cheating, if you male or female, if you cheating, see, women, I hope the women don't think that we just talking to them, because this whole conversation is unisex. It's men as well, though. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we need to get into their head as well. Because at the end of the day, if you cheating and being dishonest, because I have a lot of friends that's like that, and when they got caught, man, you know, you would have thought, like, you know, that she was ex-military the way she got them. But you know what I mean? You know, in order to get away from those bad situations, I just think honesty is the best choice. Cheating, whatever, is something. But you got to remember, we didn't touch on this, but emotional cheating is another thing that women like to do. They cheat emotionally. And then that's a big thing, too, because now they're detaching from you physically because of that emotional cheating they're doing with somebody else that they never met. Now, that's a big thing, too, emotional cheating. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be physical. There's emotional cheating, to where you form an emotional bond with somebody other than your partner. And that's a big no-no. Yeah. That's a big no-no. Because people think cheating is just a touch. I'm touching you. Nah, it's emotional. You cheating, you having these ideas. And so now that's why when they make that move later, they're detached here, because they were emotionally building up to it. Yeah. And make a long story short, I agree. It ain't right.
It's the love factor. The man, when a man gets cheated on, it hurts him, because he didn't expect his cupcake to go and cheat on him like that. You know, and for a woman, they deal with cheating different from the way men deal with cheating. So, you know, just don't do it, period. You know what I'm saying? And ladies, you know, if you don't love this man and you texting another man and you got a whole nother and you got this other dude in your DMs and stuff like that, and you know this man love you, just go and be with that guy that you're talking to, and let this guy find a queen that wants to be with him. And the same thing vice versa. But ladies, I want to tell you this, and I said this earlier, a man will always be faster to find a woman than a woman will be able to find a man, because there's more women on this earth than men. So you got to keep that in mind too, ladies. So if you have a man that loves you, cares about you, you just be with him and don't be cheating. You know what I'm saying? If you get bored or whatever, then you go find somebody else and let somebody love him. Because I think, and this is what I'm gonna give you free game. Well, this ain't free game, it's just advice. Ladies, when a man loves you, he's not loving you for any reason. Appreciate the love that he's bringing to the table, because the reason why a lot of men get into relationships is because men get into relationships because they have a lot of love in their heart that they want to share with a woman.
And we don't express it the same as women do.
Look. I love everything y'all said up until this point. When you said that a man is easy for a man to get a relationship than a woman, because you got to remember. You remember what y'all said earlier about those simps? Remember, there's a lot of them out here. So she can find a sucker just like that. That's gonna like
It ain't
take
gonna
all
last,
that crap.
bro.
It's not
It ain't
about
gonna last.
lasting. No, but it's not about lasting because we remember we live in a society where it's for the here and now. They don't look towards 5, 10 years in the future. They look towards. That's why you ask them how many relationships you've been in. They've been in 40 by the time you've been in your third one, right? And it's not about lasting right now. You got to look at it. You looking at it from like a logic step. You got to look at it from a society standpoint. Now, I'm 32, and trust me, times has shifted from this time, from when I was in high school in 2010 to now. It's completely different. It's like a 180. It ain't a 360. It's a 180, right? Mm-hmm. And when you look at it like this, they don't care about the long term. They care about instant gratification. We live in an instant gratification society. If it's instant, if it's easy, we got Uber Eats, we got DoorDash. Instantly, everybody wants stuff delivered to them, and that's the same thing with relationships. They don't care whether it's gonna last, because some people scrape attention, so they want crutches, and these people become crutches. And you got a lot more simpish guys than you do women. A lot of these women are more cutthroat than me and you put together. These simps, like y'all said, them simps taking over, right?
I want to touch on that really quick before we go. Women feel like they have unlimited options of men because of that type of men, because of how often or how frequently men are in their inboxes. I had this conversation one time with somebody that I was like, with a young lady, and I was like, 100 men that hit on you, only one of them might really want to fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, ladies, you don't have unlimited options of men out here just because these men want to smash. But because these men, or because a lot of these simps are dishonest, they can't tell.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to look at it too. The reason why I said what I said was because you look at Kim Kardashian, she wouldn't have had that little relationship who she had with. She not with the dude no more. Now Kanye got him a whole nother woman. You see it all the time. Right. And the same thing with Jeezy and Jenny Mai. He's divorced her. I guarantee you Jeezy gonna have another woman before she have a man, because she was married to this dude for 10 years. And the Zaddy, she was with him for 10 years, and then she went and moved on to Jeezy. So
what did she have to do?
Huh?
What did she have to do for Jeezy to end a marriage? Because we talked about that earlier. Men typically don't end a marriage. It's like it must have got really bad for him to be like, "Hey, I'm done." What Jeezy, the snowman? Hey, the hood nigga, he ended the marriage. She had.
But they posted a clip of what she said. Right? She said she liked black men as a side dish. Yes, and her main dish is white men. Now she did say this, but you got to remember that, like us as a society, we have a tendency of ignoring red flags. Yeah, and jumping into these relationships half-cocked because it looks socially acceptable. And they're celebrities. We do that on a base level. We do things because it's socially acceptable. They did the same thing. They look good together on screen. But behind closed doors, we don't know what the heck these weirdos was up to. And they probably weirdos, both of them.
Yeah, for real.
Every time I look into what they're weirdos. If it's not cheating, bro, it's probably. There's another clip came out that said that Jenny Mai has anger issues. Yeah, so it could be that.
I believe
and another thing about men, we're not going to put up with that. We're not going to put up with that disrespect. And I'm pretty sure Jesus wasn't going to put up with that disrespect.
Yeah, because he's from a different type. You got to remember, when we talk about nature versus nurture, he's from a different type of upbringing than that. So all that kind of stuff that she might have got away with Mr. Brad wasn't going to fly with Jeezy, because all that slick talking and all that nonsense, it ain't going. And he a Southern man. So you got to remember, those all play factors into like the way people accept things. Like Northern people, like I'm from Florida. What's good means a lot of different things. You know what I mean? And how you say it, your demeanor, everything means different. But like, you know what I mean? She's from this whole different background than him, and so I agree with you. It could have been something she kept doing consistently that he was like, nah, she ain't gonna work on it. She got to go. And if
we know. Trust me. We know. Men know. If we had to sit and think, we'll say if it's not cheating, Because if it was cheating, it would have been came out. It's something else, and it's probably got something to do with this right here. Meow 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 meow. That's all it is. Popping off at the mouth. That's what it is. You want to end your relationship real quick? Ladies, pop off at the mouth. Ain't no man gonna sit up there and let a woman continue to pop off at the mouth at him like that. Trust me.
And I'm gonna throw it. I never tried to. Y'all try to get it. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I don't mean to talk over nobody, but I say this like because we as men understand that there's an underlying like danger when we talk back to men. So like when we get into like arguments. And I'm like, I say, Trey, man, what you talking about? I don't care. I say it like this, I'm saying it in a different tone. Now you gonna say back like, what you said? And so your whole demeanor just changed because guess what? And I may have just been an emotional guy. I wouldn't mean anything threatening, but I was just in my feelings at that moment. But you perceive me as danger off rip. And so I'm telling you, they don't have that same accountability as we do. That's why we have to be in control all the time. And if they had to be in control all the time and they were held accountable, trust me. But like I say, y'all boys cooking here, man. I'm eating well, man.
I learned a lot today, man. I'm not gonna lie. We cooking in here.
Hey, so on that note, I just want to say, ladies, so I think all three of us are in agreement that cheating is wrong. There has to be some level of honesty. There has to be not some level. There has to be complete honesty from the jump, what your intentions are and what you want. Ladies, if you meet a gentleman and he's telling you that he is dating multiple women or anything like that, if that's not for you, get out of there. If he tells you that it's just about you and you see that he's still dealing with multiple women and you know that's not what you want, then you should get out of there, fellas, vice versa. Also, accountability. That word came up a lot. Accountability is a big thing. And I also think self-awareness. Why you keep attracting men that do things like that? Or for men, why do you keep attracting women that do things like that? Because I know for a while, before I sat and reflected, I seem to be only attracting one type of woman. And I ain't gonna lie, I was out here simping. Like my mindset was, if I show her how good of a guy that I can be to her and just deal with her bullshit, she'll change for me. And that was wrong. And men do this, and women do the same thing. If you see this guy's a notorious cheater, and you see this nigga ain't no good, or if I give him the box, or if I cook for him, or if I do give him a shoulder rub, I can get him to change. You cannot ignore the red flags. I know it's very hard because we do genuinely care for people. We do love these women. Women, you do love these men. But at the end of the day, we cannot ignore the red flags if they are there, no matter how hard it is. Sometimes you just got to let go and take that time. And again, you have to be self-aware and you have to take accountability because nobody wants to be wrong. So it's very hard, but we still have to take that accountability anyway. And at the end of the day, I feel like it helps us grow as men and women. So any final thoughts for you guys before we log off?
I think one last thing. I think this is, we just have to, ladies, I think it's only going to get better if you guys start listening. We've listened to you guys for years. We didn't say anything. We just, like Chuck said earlier at the beginning of the show, we talked about this in the barbershops, at the bar with our homeboys. We talked about this stuff. And ladies, all we want you to do is just hear us out and listen to what we're saying. We're not here to try to make you guys look crazy or stupid. We just want you guys to listen and say, hey, look, this is what you're doing. This is X, Y, and Z what you're doing. I don't like it. Try and change that, because for some reason, men, we will try to change. Men, we listen. Men, in my opinion, are more accountable. Men can admit when they're wrong and apologize faster than a woman will. So men, in my opinion, are more accountable. But the number one thing, ladies, you guys just need to listen to what we're saying, and don't take it as us bashing you. Don't be so quick on the defensive. If I tell you don't leave that on the floor or something like that, Well, don't say, well, what about you? You left it on other. No, we're not talking about me right now. We're just talking about what you just did. Own up what you did. No gaslighting. That's what we're talking about. So, just ladies, just listen to what we're saying. That's all we want. We want you guys to listen to us because you're not listening.
There you go.
And that's why we're on podcast talking right now.
Sir, you're absolutely right. Jay, any last thoughts from you before we go?
And I do, and I agree with what you're saying about listening, but I look at it like this. I'm going to talk to the men and women. We both got to hold ourselves accountable, right?
Yes.
And we got we're in a society where we can always find a way of us being right. I can be doing something totally shitty to you, and I go on a podcast, and that guy made me feel like I was in the right? Or she can go on and be a really shitty person, and she went on that talk show, and she seen that she was completely right. But I think it's right now what I got from this, with all of us talking here, we want to first, like he said, be self-aware and also be accountable. Because self-awareness comes with a responsibility. Because if we're going out here doing all these things to other people and then expecting like, hey, I'm this way, she got to be that way, or he's that way. And then, you know what I mean? Because these situations, they tend to mingle up. And when they mingle up, it's never a good result. So first we got to do as people, fuck the gender now and the sex. We got to be accountable.
Yeah.
We got to sit there and look in that mirror and tell us. They said accountability is. I heard Eric Thomas say this. He said accountability is emotional self-defense. You will never feel wrong once you hold yourself accountable, because you don't necessarily have to be wrong, but you have to filter it through you first before we can correct anybody else. And I think us as being people, we need to start doing that long look in that mirror. And then once we do that long look in that mirror, we can come to other people and give advice. Because I'm not going to lie, even as a man, you ask to be heard. But if you're not living and doing your part, you got to make sure you're doing that part. That where you looked at as a leader of somebody that want to follow. If you don't want to follow you, nobody else is going to want to do it. So when you said you was doing the self-work, Charlie, that was very important. That's what we all need to do. That self-work to correct ourselves. And then we can exert everything we put here outward, because it first go to us. And so I'm going to say this is what I've been hearing a lot, like accountability. What it would really boil it down to, we bring it here, because ain't no man gonna. Some man lie to some man, but when you in the barbershop, that old head cutting your hair, he telling you a dumb young man. Hey man, stop being stupid. He's like, stop being stupid, because that's what we did to tell everybody. Stop being stupid. And when they hear that, like we heard the hard, unfiltered, unadulterated truth. I think, like I said, man, we've been cooking here, but I think everybody be able to cook together on a mental level. And then I think society in a whole will meld a lot better, because of we all filtering this through an honest lens. A lot of people on them trick mirrors. We don't need no more trick mirrors. We need that honest mirror. You 800 pounds, you know what you got going. You know what you need to do. Hold it here. And not even just wait. We 800 pounds of bullshit people got in their mind. Hold it here, and then filter it out, and then you come, because you know what you want. You know what I mean? And I can speak from experience. I used to do sales. I was a bullshitter, a professional bullshit. I got paid to bullshit you. We know that's not no expensive stuff. But guess what? I convinced myself that it was good. So now when you hear me talk, I'm so excited about it. But at the end of the day, we need to convince ourselves that we are wrong and that we need to work on ourselves, because that's the only way we're going to do it. And that's the only way men and women, we're going to, in society, we're going to ever be able to do anything, especially relationship-wise. We need to be accountable, and we need to be clear and concise with what we want.
That's it.
And what we expect. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all having me here, man.
Yes,
I love this.
Man, I gotta have you guys on again, man. I thought this was a great episode. A lot of gems, got a lot of knowledge for both men and women to absorb. I want to give a shout out really quick to the My Coffee Couch crew. Thank you for having us. Thank you for listening to the guys talk. Make sure to like and subscribe to My Comfy Couch. We will be back again with more Charlie's Corner very soon. Again, Trevin, Josh, thank you guys so much. I gotta have you guys on again.
Anytime.
It's been real,
Thank
man.
you, man. Anytime, man.
Sir, man, we was cooking and everybody ate good, I feel, man. So
Definitely.
again, everybody, hope you guys all have a great night. If you have any comments on the video drops, please, ladies, gentlemen, definitely comment and let us know like what you feel down in the chats. And that is it. You guys have a great night. See you guys again real soon. Trevor and Josh, again, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys for being on, man. You guys have a
Appreciate you,
great
boss. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
All right.